Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome, everybody, to the glorious episode of Student Body Right, USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, along with Coach B, and we are podcasting on the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSB as my Twitter handle. And also you have Coach B, which is Blue DVL21. Coach B, I mean, listen, if you're around Coach B, go play the lottery, because right now in 2025, his football teams have not lost the game yet. So you gotta just, you know what I mean? You got obviously, you know, the charm of the sunglasses or something is going on over here in Southern California, where he had the Chargers 3-0, Trojans 4-0, you know, trying to go to 5-0 here as they face the Illini up in Champaign. One of my favorite city names in college football, just Champaign, Illinois is just a great name for a college town. There has been some mystery on whether or not USC is left already for the game, or whether they are they still here in California? Who nobody knows. But I think they left already today, and they're just trying to keep their whereabouts private for obvious reasons. So we'll see what happens there. I know it's a big contention for a lot of USC fans when they leave, when they don't leave. But I want to get your impressions real quick, Coach B, of the game against the Spartans. I've already sounded off about that on my recap. What was your take on that game?
Kind of like what I thought, right? It's kind of what we talked about, what I thought. 14 points. It was going to be a 14-point win. A little higher scoring than that. It was funny because you said you had like 45 points. I had 24. You know what I mean? So you had, it was 45-31. But it was what I thought it was going to be. We didn't have to play perfect to win the game. I love that our run game came up and it showed up in a huge way. Run game showed up in a huge way, right? So I mean, again, like I said, it's kind of what I thought. I thought it was what I thought it was going to be. Like I said, we didn't have to play an A game to beat them, and we knew they were going to have to play their best game. What I did love is their star wide receiver didn't do much. He's relatively quiet all night. And so that was definitely a plus for us. And then Aiden Childs, we were able to bottle him up a little bit, and do what we wanted to do, and that was something that was going to be necessary going into this next 4-game stretch. Yeah. I wasn't overly. I was definitely overly impressed with our run game, but I wasn't. It was kind of what I expected. I want to say it was ho hum for me, right? Because it's what I expected for us to do.
Yeah, I think a couple plays kind of stood out to me is that where they ran a little mesh route for Nunu, and he faded to the corner of the end zone. I thought that was a great touch pass by Jaden Mayava there. I thought it was a beautiful little touch pass, because we know we can sling it. We know the arm strength and the deep ball accuracy is there, but a lot of times when you're in the red zone, tight quarters, you need to be able to lay it in there and just touch it, and he was able to do that. Good to see that Nunu got in there got his first touchdown as a Trojan. Hopefully he has many more. The 14th different Trojan to score a touchdown this year, as that touchdown was recorded as well. But the running game, I mean, this is Big Ten Lincoln Riley. We run the football 40 times a game. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is what it is.
I mean, think about it. This is what we wanted with Woody Marks. This is what we wanted, last year, the year before. This is how the run game that we've been looking for. This whole asking Lincoln to do, and he's delivering.
To me, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not sure whether or not I think he has the full trust of these running backs. I'm not sure if Quentin Joyner, he had that full. Because he never went to. I mean, it was just Woody or bust. Like, it was, it was Woody or bust. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a Woody or bust the whole season last year. So it is what it is. And it should have been like Woody and Brian Jackson. If you really want to call it, to be honest with you. But that's either here nor there. I'm not looking towards last year. I'm looking towards this year, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing. And this defensive line is really getting after it. Now we're going to be previewing the Illinois game. let's just go. Let's jump right into it. They are a team that let, us start on Lincoln side of the ball before we go in. They play Illinois plays man to man defense in the
Mhm.
secondary at the third highest rate in college football. They
Yep.
blitz. They blitz the second at the second highest rate in college football. And they're boss. I mean, so like that is something where like that just screams Lincoln Riley all over it. So like I'm not sure how they could make a drastic change from that. I don't think they will. I think they're gonna have to take they're gonna go the fast death or the slow death here out there in Champaign. Thoughts about just I mean styles make fights. I don't see how this is. I mean people don't really blitz USC very often. So so we'll see what happens there. But like, I mean, your thoughts about like their style of defense because they're doing all these things and they're not very good. They haven't been very good defensively at all.
Well, that's why they do it, right? You blitz
Yeah,
because you have to
because you can't
mask.
cover. Because you can't cover.
Right. So you're gonna blitz and you're gonna run man, which works perfect in our favor because those mesh routes are killer. You know what I mean? That heavy on more mesh routes. You're giving Jaden Miava more opportunities to run because if you don't get home with said blitz or we pick it or he identifies it, it's over because now he has so much room to run. Right now because all your DBs are back against to the ball.
Yep.
I have think they're going to heavy blitz on first and second down to try to take the run away from us. But at a certain point, that's just letting us know we're going to run RPO and just kill you an RPO game with Makai coming over across the middle. Hopefully, Jack is back, and we got the new guys that are just kind of stepping up, right? So guys are gonna touch the ball. I feel like even back out of like swings out of the backfield, right? We're gonna make you do things and make that defense really uncomfortable and make that defensive coordinator say, okay, I'm just gonna live. I'm just gonna live and die with this defense, right? And if you
Yep.
beat us, you beat us, and if you don't, you don't. Indiana beat them because he said, I'm gonna live and die with it. And it is what it is.
Yep.
If he does that against us, we're gonna drop 60. This is gonna be probably our easiest win of the year. And it's already been well. I don't know if you've seen it. We left this morning.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I mean, there's like controversy whether or not we actually left or not. But
no,
it isn't.
they show the pictures.
Yeah. So it's what it is. So I don't know what the big deal is.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
the thing about,
Go ahead.
and again, to me, look, this is the thing. It's not about what they do. It's more about what we do, right? We haven't won a game. We won one game on the East Coast, I think, in the Eastern Time Zone, I should say, since 2000. I want to say 2008.
I mean, we're still not we're still not in the Eastern Time Zone yet because
right.
yes. So.
But I mean, still just traveling out east,
yes.
doing that 4-hour flight, it's still going to be an issue. I mean, I just want to make sure that we are, and it's a 9:00 kick. So think about that for us too. You know what I mean? It's a 9:00 kick. I got that's 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that is so. I mean, I guess they're going to practice at 7:00 in the morning too to try to duplicate it. But I mean, we'll see what happens there. There's going to be. I mean, there's little factors here like the time difference. Like if this game was in Los Angeles at like 4:00, I think USC would be a two touchdown favorite in this game. But you have the time travel. It's their homecoming. I honest to God, like I'm not sure who made that choice because usually homecoming is a game where you are gonna beat somebody. so like
Right.
I'm not sure who makes. I think every school in high school to college has done that. So I'm not sure why they chose USC for this game, but for their homecoming game, but that's neither here nor there. So so the crowd will be jumping, everybody will be there. The big noon people will be there as well. So you have that exposure. So I can see the hypeness being there for a quarter and a half. But I think at the end of the day, they just don't have the weapons that SC has. That SC has, and I'm not sure how they're going to account for it. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna make some plays here and there. But like,
Yeah.
but like as the game goes on, you can't like them stopping SC is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, we just can't make mistakes, right? We can't make mistakes. That's the whole thing. We can't make mistakes, and we got to adjust. That's just what we have to do. That at the end of the day, if we make mistakes, we're going to lose a football game, and that's how it works. We can't give them opportunities to stay in the game, right? It's kind of like last week. We gave them opportunity to stay in the game. This is not one of those teams you want to keep in the game, right? We know they're not very good, but when you keep teams in the game, and they, especially on the road, when they're at home, they grow that confidence is ridiculous, right? Yeah. Michigan State wasn't able to, even though we kept them in the game, we were taking their confidence. Every time they did something, we answered right back, right? And our crowd was in it. When you're on the road, we can't let bad teams stay with us. We should have learned from last year. Can't let bad teams stay with us, and you got to put the game away.
Yeah. Illinois, doing research for the game and everything like that. I like to listen to I'm on the road a lot. I'm on the road, and I'll listen to like the other teams, their shows, and I'll grab like two or three shows, and I'll listen to them, and they're heartbroken about last week. They really feel. I mean, they're down. They feel really embarrassed about that because somebody put a 60 burger on you. Like you're Austin P and somebody puts a 60 burger on you. You kind of expect that. You take the check and go home. When you're Illinois, who's Illinois, like who was ranked at number 9 to start the year, they took it a whole different way. So they don't feel good about this game. And like nobody, and like none of them, they would talk about scenarios where they can keep it close, but none of them. And I applaud the honesty. You know what I'm saying? Like of like not blowing smoke up your fans of fans. You know what? But they did not feel good about this game at all. And I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to win, but when you dip into the metrics, when you dip into the numbers, like there really isn't a great sense of like a great reason why they would win this game. On the flip side of it, with D'Anton Lynn, you at USC is one of the best teams at getting to the quarterback, pressure rate, sacking the quarterback, all the things we dreamed about with D'Anton Lynn are coming to fruition now, and they are one of the worst teams. They're like dead last in protection, and it's amazing because they brought back a lot of veterans. And this reminds me of when USC like brought back a bunch of veterans and they plugged people in here and there on the offensive line in Caleb year 2, and they never played well. They could never play well together. And then you had and then you had this unit. I think when you have I think what I'm learning from Killian O'Connor and I'm learning from from offensive line play just in general, and shout out to Zach Hansen, who has the offensive line playing well, is that that's a unit where you have to do it internally. Like you can't jump into the portal for that to get, or at least for USC, it helps them dramatically to have everybody in house and have some continuity there, because the continuity on this offensive line has been fantastic for them. And I don't know how, like, I'm not, they picked up everything. And I didn't even notice that, that Elijah Page left the game the way, so, I mean, so great job by the offensive line kind of shifting different pieces together to get a really good result, against, I mean, Michigan State isn't a powerhouse, but they are still a decent team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, again, when you are the offense, you can add pieces to the offensive line, but I always tell people like this, like people always say, well, offensive lines get better. They only get better as a unit. I can add as many names as I want, but if they're not playing well as a unit, my offensive line isn't good. Right? Because I can add, my left tackle's great. Well, what about the rest of them? Help me understand the rest of them.
They got to be they got to be playing on that same string. It's like you hear offensive linemen and offensive line coach say the same thing, and you coach football. And so like we have to play on the string. Like they just
Yep.
they just on that string, they play together. And this offensive line has done a great job of that. And another thing about it, this defense doesn't really get pressure on the court. They, like you said, like you blitz like Dayton Lynn blitzes for pleasure. He
Right.
doesn't blitz for necessity. They
Right.
blitz for necessity because if they have their man to man coverage and they rush four, they're not getting to the quarterback.
Well, and it's one thing you said, right? It's like you said, am I the only one worried about this game? And the reason why I'm not so much worried, I was never the reasons why I'm worried are not because of them, it's because of the outside
Us,
things.
yeah.
The it's it's all the, like you said, the time zone change, the early kick, the what I mean, all that other silly stuff around it, and which is very, very, very real, right? That's the only reason I'm worried about this game. This reminds me this team reminds me. Do you remember back? I forget it was 04, 05 when Arkansas was number 9 in the country, and you're like, how is this team ranked at this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always talking about, like, I don't know why Illinois is ranked. I literally don't. It really, I was like, why are they ranked so high? Like, what did I miss off of last season?
For them
That
being
they had to be
ranked,
that
yeah,
high.
I agree with you. Like for them being ranked, I understand, but not as high as they are. And like as far as
Yeah.
like, I mean, like because all the stuff was there for them. Like I feel like as we're finding out about the AP, it's a little bit of laziness when it comes to them, when it comes to AP.
Yeah.
Let's just call it like it is. Like USC not being in the top 25, I didn't even bother me because I was like, these dudes they're not tape grinders. They're not doing it. They're not when the season starts, they're just going storyline, whatever. Who's coming back Who's coming back from that team? Okay, we'll put them at 7. We'll put them at 6. We'll put them at 15. Like they're not dive. They're those dudes and those guys and girls who do that together, whether they don't have the time, whether it's the deadlines of like who the teams they cover, they're not diving in like that. Like it's clear. Like I mean, it's clear.
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious.
I mean,
Yeah.
when UCF beat Florida, it was just like nothing. I mean, like every. I mean, like they didn't. Some folks didn't even. Some people still voted for Florida over them, and like I'm like, it's a mess. So it's just the worst. It's the worst. You can't. Doesn't matter. But it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So I just looked at it like, okay, I really hope since they were already 9 that they would have beat Indiana last week, so we can keep them, and then we can walk in and take out a
Beat
top
them.
10 team. You know
Yeah,
what I
exactly.
mean? Like that would
Exactly.
have been amazing. Like we got a top
Exactly.
10 win on our schedule. You know what I mean? So it would have been great. It is what it is. We still have a top 20 rank. We'll have a top 20 win on our schedule. I just I like our chances once we wake up. Hopefully wake up sooner than later. You know what I mean? Shake off the cobwebs, so we can get back on a flight. At a decent hour back to California, and be good.
It should be no. It should be, and I think for Illinois, like all I heard about it's funny because like when USC joined this conference, the weather, the weather. Now listen, I'm more of a person who believes in global warming than some most people do, but like honestly, like the weather, it doesn't really get bad on these coasts or on the East Coast until like late December, and by that time, there ain't nobody playing over there no more. So like,
we're home at that point.
I mean, we're home at that time, and then the weather for this game is gonna be 79 and sunny. So there's not gonna be some kind of frigid Chicago Northeaster that's gonna make this game give the game elements. So like right. I mean, it's like I mean, we're not even. I mean, I think the latest. Well, the coldest game we might have to play is the Nebraska game, but I don't even then it just doesn't get like if you look at the weather trends, it doesn't really get these places that are like renowned for snow and elements. They don't get that way until like late November, early December. So,
and again, where we at? We're back home at that point. We're definitely back home at that point.
We're cooking steaks and wearing shorts on the back porch.
Yeah.
Like, you know how that goes.
Hanging out.
It's hanging out. Obviously Lynn talked about it today. He was not pleased about the breakdowns. They're not. He talked about not being acceptable. So, hopefully they can improve on that. We did get the news that Alex Graham was back at practice. It sounds like sounds like it's going to be him. Maybe at the Michigan game, maybe not this game. I don't know. We don't know who if he traveled or not. Wasn't able to see Jacoby in any of the pictures. So I don't know if Jacoby traveled or not. Jakeem was in a boot. I guess there was a rumor that he was in a boot, but he practiced yesterday. So I mean, so hopefully he can keep going with his. I can't believe that kid is that young and doing what he's doing. It's amazing.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, and you can see why our guy Coach Henny went overboard to make sure that they got him, because and USC did too, because he is phenomenal.
The kid's ridiculous, and I was in was on Twitter, and I was in a space, and I was talking to one of my friends, and he was like, I keep hearing about this kid, but what is he like? Like he doesn't really watch college football all like that, and I'm like, oh, Thanos? Oh yeah, he's him. I said I sent him the clip of when he basically tackled the quarterback and the running back last week.
So we took the snap, took the handoff, took the handoff. Yeah.
I'm like, and what I want you to remember is he's 18.
He's 18.
So I want you to remember that he's 18. When you watch the play, I need you to remember that he's 18. He's a true freshman. Yeah. He's not a redshirt freshman. He's
playing against veteran offensive linemen. Like, I mean, like, yeah.
So he was.
That's wild.
He was like, I'm gonna watch you guys a lot more. he's like, he's fun to watch. I'm like, you telling me?
Yeah, and then when he gets interviewed, he's very mature. So he said, listen, I'm playing, yeah. I'm playing for myself, but I'm also playing for my family and just trying to get them, uplift my whole family. He's just saying all the things that you want to hear.
He says
all the right things, but like he's not just saying it. Like, you know what I mean? He's actually
no, he means it.
It's who he is.
You can tell that.
It's who he is.
And you can tell he's playing like he means it.
It really is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let's see here. I mean, So we're going to go to injuries. So the injuries are pretty much, and then also Prophet Brown as well. So Prophet Brown could be in a position where he redshirts. So like they're getting to the point where he might want to, because it might be late in the season, and for him it might make sense to redshirt. It's up to him. Obviously, it's up to his decision. But I know if he wants to probably get to the next level, that might be a good
idea. I don't want to lose that kid. I don't want to lose him.
I don't want to lose him, but I think they're really confident in Graham. So we'll see what Graham can do. I don't think Longstreet, Kevin Longstreet is ready to be that full-time guy. So in the slot, and I think they want to have, as long as he's decent at the slot and can tackle and do what he needs to do, Alex Graham. And then you can have that freedom that we want so bad with Pierce, with Ramsey, with Fitzgerald. That's the kind of havoc that, like, for future passing games, we want to see. Like, you want to see him just move those chess pieces around, and because Ramsey is like, Ramsey probably started the season saying, had a little bet with Fitzgerald about who had the INTs, and now he gets to play back there and get the INTs while he's playing the slot and dominating this. Right. It's like, I mean, has a slot receiver like burned USC yet? Like, not yet. Like, I mean, not even.
No, I mean, again, I think we had that one slot fade, but I think, like I said, those are just busted coverages. Like, those are just miscommunications. It looked like it was supposed to be cover 2. Somebody thought it was supposed to be cover 4. That's what it kind of looked like when they were kind of having the conversation. But it just looked, that's the way it looked, just based on their conversation, right? Basically, who was supposed to have and who they talked to. So that's what I always look at, right? I always look at if there's a busted coverage, who the safety goes to first. That'll tell me what coverage was supposed to be there, or imply what kind of coverage was supposed to be there, right? Somebody was supposed to carry, something like that. So always look at that, and it looked like, when we do get beat like that, looked like it was supposed to be like a cover 4, possibly. Somebody stayed up, didn't see the inside number, didn't see number 2 go on the fade, something like that, and then the safety kind of went inside. They had something to influence the safety, where, what I mean. So it just kind of, it's kind of one of those things where we need to definitely tighten those up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, freezing for me. This thing has been freezing all.
I'm happy with that. It's oddly enough, you speak of both of my teams, and both of my teams are getting this is kind of disgusting right now. Especially being a DB guys, like guys, we definitely gotta fix this.
Yeah, no question about it. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, a question I wanted to have is, give me two guys. One guy who you're very like, oh, you want to shout that guy out, and another guy who you want to see a little bit more from, as far as because we're 4 games in, as the season goes.
So definitely want to shout out. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer, but all Trojan fans know that this guy he deserves it, and that's EG, man. Eric Gentry is just different. Like we talk about him week in and week out, but I mean, and that's kind of the easy play, right? And I'm gonna give you two guys because I went early in our shows. If people go back early in our shows, our center, bro. I had to. I was not sold, but he's got me. You know what I mean? That kid is playing well. He has the line focused and dialed in, and making the checks, making the right calls. I haven't seen a busted. Honestly, I don't think I've seen anything busted from the front line, from the offensive line. You know what I mean? I haven't seen any busted plays from them. So between those two guys, and then I want to see more really from our corners, both of them. But our corners have to step up. If we can tighten that up, and my thing was against the run. I was harping on the run early. I mean, you have many text message conversations, but if we can tighten up the secondary, it's gonna be. I can see us going 12-0. I hate to say it, but I can see us doing it. But we have to tighten up the secondary because as much as I talked about our linebackers, they're playing very well.
Yeah.
Our D line, our big line in there plays very well. So I can't talk about them. They're playing well. Our secondary needs to tighten up. Both corners. You know what I mean? They were just blowing way too many coverages.
Yeah. I agree. Who's the guy you want to see more from? You say that already?
I'm saying our corners.
Your corners. Okay.
Corners.
That makes sense. For me, it's so much, but I think people have made a big deal about Killian O'Connor, and then when people about his size and his weight and everything like that at center. And what I did was
I was one of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
I was one of them.
And I traveled around. I traveled around the internet and just looked at starting centers in that with that body weight and body size, and I'm like, there's so many centers who play for. I wasn't looking at like Georgia Southern. I was looking at like SEC, SEC, Big Ten, ACC, and there's a lot of centers who have that same build. And I was like, so he has the same build. Let me just see what the play strength looks like. If he's getting blown up, whatever, and he's not getting blown up, he's staying his own ground. Now every week it gets harder and harder, and we'll see. You'll see in person in the overalls when he goes to play Michigan. When that happens, because those are the real big boys, the real big boys. But I definitely want to give Killian O'Connor a lot of props. I know Ryan Dyrud from LAFB, who I interviewed earlier, talking about this game. He discussed it, and I think it's a great a great pick for like the guy who you really want to give props to, because I think the center we were like, oh, you're not starting John A. Reed. I think this team is just starting guys who've been here. Like it's going to be like to me, it's like it's USC, if they make the playoff this year and the things keep going the way it's supposed to be going, and we talked about the recruits who are from California, it's just going to be hard for transfers to get playing time. Like I mean it's just going to be because the guys who've been here, the Cali guys who are really really good and really want to make SC special. they're just gonna play more. Like that, like everybody made a big deal about DJ Harvey, but like the majority of that game, I'm seeing Williams, and I'm seeing so else Williams played a whole lot in that game. The other corner is slipping my mind. Carlo, I mean Braylon,
Nicholson.
no, Braylon Conley was on the field a whole lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just prioritizing those people. So you gotta love the fact that they're putting their efforts towards them, and that's really cool to see. So so obviously, like I said, go after Kenny O'Connor. That's cool. I think as far as you want to see is I don't really have. I mean, obviously, it's only one football, so I would love to see a little something with Tanu Hines, because I think there is like to sit there and have a Makai Lemon and knowing that he's probably going to the draft this year, and have a guy who is basically his replacement and getting quality reps, and like already like blowing by people as a freshman. Like, I mean, I'm really excited about. I want to see a little bit more from him, not even a negative way, just like more. Like, what I'm saying, like yeah,
Get
and like
the ball more.
yeah, the more, and he can be that guy. He could be that receiver. Like, the old school Raiders used to have a guy named James Jett, who used to be. He would have two catches, but he'd be like two catches for 100 yards. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously he'd be a better. He was a track guy, so Tanuk is would be a better receiver than him. But like, I mean, that's the kind of as far as this version of it. Next year he'll be like one of the number one, number two receivers on the team. But as that third guy, just hit me. I think I could see people just like three wide receiver set. They're like, oh, we got 16, we got 8, we got 6, we're good. And then oh whoops, in the slot you just see, or on the Z you see up the sideline, you see number 16 just burning by a corner and going for a touchdown there. So I'm really excited to see that as well. I would love to. Hopefully, this Elijah Page injury is not big, because we just Michigan and Michigan the bye week, and then Michigan, Notre Dame back to back. I mean, they gotta win this game, Coach B, because this schedule is just lining up perfectly, and I feel like the schedule. Yeah, the schedule's right behind me, whatever. But like, if they just beat Michigan, I think it's the first time in a long time we're gonna go undefeated at home, and if they go undefeated at home, then that's putting a team right in the right direction to go to the playoff.
Absolutely. I mean, and you got to think, big names on our resume, right? That's the whole thing. We got to put the names on our resume. No matter how Michigan's playing, they're a name, and no one's gonna downplay. Oh, Michigan's not that good. No one's gonna say that. We beat Michigan. Yep. We're putting their name on our resume, because likely Michigan goes undefeated to play until they play Ohio State, right? So again, we have to beat Michigan. We got to beat Notre Dame. Those names have to be on our resume, right? No one's going to give us a shot to go into South Bend and beat Notre Dame, right? So again, putting names on our resume, playing on the road, and getting that, because those wins, we gotta stack those wins.
Yeah,
we gotta stack those wins. So close to beating Michigan last year. So close to beating Notre Dame last year. We have to stack those wins. Because those games were winnable games. We just found a way to give them back.
I will say this too, and about this conference, and the conference is just like it's minefields everywhere. I will say that a team, and I think you'll see a little bit of it this weekend. Just don't sleep on the boys in the Pacific Northwest. Just saying.
You think so?
I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying. Don't just like don't. I mean, if you go when teams go there, like he's a good coach. I like it. I like the coach, and I'll just say like don't. I mean, I think I'm not saying they're gonna go out there and like start. I'm not saying that they're a team that can win the Big Ten, but like next year this time, like we're gonna really be talking about Washington. Like, I mean, they can move the football. They can move the football. That offense is moving the
Yeah.
football like crazy. So I would definitely say that. But I'm watching. But to just look ahead real quick is that Michigan has a bye week. They play and they play Wisconsin in Ann Arbor, and then they come to Los Angeles. As far as that goes. But I love the fact that there's a bye week, so there is no game next week for them. I don't want to hear there's no trap game because it's a bye week. Win this game, get healthy, get to the bye. That's all you can
Right.
ask. That's all you can ask them to do.
Right.
As far as that goes. Is there a favorite through 4 games? Is there a favorite play that you have for SC so far? This one,
And I think again, it was kind of what you said. It was laying the ball, right? It's from Maeva. Like that to me, the growth,
yeah.
right? In that play in and of itself, and then Jaden taking off right for when nobody's around. I think I was scared he was in a fumble and just dropped the ball because nobody was around him.
Yeah.
I literally was like, okay, nobody's around him. He's gonna drop the ball because it's too. It was too easy.
It was like ping pong. It was like ping pong, and then he was like, but yeah. So it was nuts in there. It was nuts in there.
I'm like, please, just nothing else. I started looking around the field, like, is there any flags? Nothing else happened.
Yes.
Like him just walking in the end zone is just. And you know what's funny is you see the growth, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is you see the growth was because we had that play before. We had that play before, and he didn't, and he gave it. And he's like, and I seen the setup. I'm like, oh, he has it. They're crashing on the back. They're crashing on the back. And then he saw it and took it. I'm like, that's easy work. So you saw the growth, and finally we see some some progression in the plays where you see the setup, and then you see the next play be executed perfectly for a touchdown.
Yeah. No question about it. It was cool. It's definitely cool to see that. You got a prediction for the game out here? Illinois and USC.
I think again. I think it's again. I'm going. I think it's a 14-point game. I think I'm still sticking on the 38-24. Like I think it's just that's kind of where we're at. It gets sluggish, and it could be 31-17, somewhere there. I think we start sluggish. We start a little cold. We might, drop our first possession or two. I'm not sure what's up with Lincoln. I don't like him. I hope he doesn't take the ball first in this game. If we win the toss, I hope he kicks the ball off. I want to get the defense on the field to bring the energy. Most time, defensive guys bring the energy.
We should start tracking. We should start tracking that. I always forget that part. So we should start tracking that to see if who wins the toss and whether or not USC, if they win it, do they take the ball and put the defense on the field? I'm all for putting the defense on the field first.
Yeah. So I mean, last week he took the ball. I think the last 2 weeks he took the ball when we won the toss. So it's just one of those things where I know he wants to get points and give the defense like a breather, right? But I think to bring the energy, because we're gonna need it coming on the road at an early kick, we're gonna need that kind of energy to make good plays early on, right? So that's what I'm looking for. I think we're a little sluggish. Eventually, we kick it in gear and we win the games that we need to win. I mean, I'm sorry, we score like we need to score to win the game.
Yeah,
that's must win.
I think right now 7-7. The Trojans are 7.5-point favorites. I think they win the game 38-28. I think, like I said, I think about third quarter they might score to come back in. And then we hit a field goal, and then we shut everything down. As far as with the defense and getting maybe an interception, stuff like that. But I mean, the pressure at some point, I don't know how they stop. I don't know how they protect themselves from the pressure all day. There's gonna be a portion of the game where the defensive line just really wreaks havoc on this underperforming offensive line they have out there in Champaign. All right.
Right.
Anything else?
Nope. What me is always.
I think it's all good. Fight on, folks, and we'll see you there. Definitely check out LAFB.com. They have people who write about the Chargers. Also, I'll be writing about USC. So check out my article there. I write an article on Luke Altmaier, who I feel like is a good quarterback, and I feel like a guy not to be underestimated. So you don't want to be caught in a close game with him because then if he starts making plays and gets hot, then USC is looking on the barrel of a 4-1 start. That should be a 5-1 start. So, all right, Coach B, have a good night, man. Take care, brother.
You too, sir.